Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the ARCA Menards East Series presented by the PCS their fourth race of the season, as we're going to go road course racing here at Watkins Glen for the running of the Clean Harbors 100 at the Glen. If you didn't tune into our qualifying race earlier today, we were originally supposed to have been at Kentucky, but because NR 2003 ended up crashing on me, we decided to come here to Watkins Glen instead for 14 laps of racing. Maisie Creighton is on the pole position, but Maisie's been having a bit of a struggle these last couple of races. She fell down to 7th in the point standings after a poor showing last week for the East Series drivers at Darlington. Nathan Orman is alongside. Orman is making his second start. He made his debut last week at Darlington. Bradley Reed, ditto for him. Didn't have a good finish at Darlington. And Cleopatra Gamal dropped 8 spots down to 19th in the point standings. As there's the rest of your starting grid. There's the points over to the right side of your screen. And we're going to get these cars rolling off behind the pace car. Venko Seaman is making his first start of the year. Ponzo Albanese and Elena Aurora also making their first start of the year. As there's a little issue with Carolina Bradley. The start has been waived off by the officials. Not sure why Carolina Bradley is driving in the grass for some reason. So the start has officially been waived off. They sent the field around. And looks like no issues so far. There's Alexandria Sarnes. She has failed to qualify. She's failed to qualify ever since her flip at Coca-Cola Super Speedway. After this race, we'll be nearing the halfway point of the East Series Championship. But their next race is not going to be for another 2-3 weeks from now, because the ARCA Main Series next week will be heading to Talladega. Before that, we will have the ARCA West Series back from their break. They're heading to Las Vegas Motor Speedway at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But let's get Watkins Glen focused first. Green flag, we're racing at the Glen. As here come the drivers heading for the inner loop. It caused havoc in our qualifier this morning. Hopefully everybody can get through the corner. Apologize for the NR glitching up. It looks like the field has made it through turn number 1. Before I forget, I'm going to go ahead and I'll wait till after the race. Bradley Green currently in second position. Nathan Orman currently in third. Emma Kaiser is fourth. As we have completed the opening lap of 14 that will be running here today. A lot fewer cars than what we saw today in the qualifying race. Maisie Creighton currently still the race leader. Nathan Orman in second. Of course, he'll be racing next week when the West Series returns from their break. The E-Series drivers will take an off week next week. Next week is only the ARCA Series Main and the West Series. We'll first have the West Series race that you will see. And of course, Trinity Lee, who was in the qualifier, is going to be in that West Series event. And she made tomorrow's main event for the ARCA Menards series. So you will see her as well as the other 30-something drivers next week for the West Series. That's a helicopter you're just hearing. Remember, a lot of rubber has been put down since the for these drivers because the last series that was on track was the main series, the qualifying for the main series. So we have an extra 5 laps versus our qualifier we had this morning, and so far all of these drivers are doing a little bit better job. There's Dylan Van Dyke, there's Liliana Bates. Van Dyke, by the way, is in a backup car after he was involved, after his primary car was trashed. Of course, he got stuck in a gravel trap, had some damage on the front end of his Toyota, so they have pulled out the backup car. Has start at the back. There's Vanco Seaman making his first start in the East Series. And possibly his only start. Same with Ponzo Albanese. This will be his only start of the year. Same with this gal right here, Elena Aurora. This will be their only start of the year because they're not running for the championship in this because all of them are in the top 35. But they would like to get some track knowledge along with the other 7 drivers who made the show from the qualifier that could help them for tomorrow's race. Next race for the East Series, as I said, will be in 2 weeks. They're heading to, I believe we're heading to, see some skid marks off of turn number 6. I don't know who those came from. It must have came from this gal right here, Luna Farmer. And she's got some rear end damage on that car, and somehow the caution is not out for some reason. That's not good for Luna Farmer in her 3rd start of the year. But as I was saying, the E-Series is going to head to Hillside in 2 weeks. That will mark the midway point of their championship. While we're green, let's go back and see what happened to Luna Farmer, why she has rear end damage on the 74. That's a tough break for her. Luna has not made any races in the main series, and she's running majority of the East season because of the fact she has not made a race this season. Let's see, she and Rita Ruva made contact. Oh my goodness, right in front of Eric Diaz, who had to jam on the brakes. But because this was towards the rear of the field, ARCA officials have decided not to throw caution. And that's a tough break for Luna Farmer, who really needed a caution. Now she's so far back with all that damage on it. And also, with this road course being a high-speed track, you do not want to have damage. Otherwise, you're in big trouble. So I'm going to bring NR a little bit closer. Excuse me. Having something to drink if y'all don't mind. As I forgot to pull up the ticker. So apologies for that. Let's see where the guy that came in this race as our points leader is. That would be the 28th. He's all the way back in 34th. That's Kyler Anderson. The guy who's trying to run him down for the points lead, Dylan Van Dyke's running in the 18th position. came in race second in points. And the guy that was third in points, Lucian Bianchi, he's all the way back in 25th. Campos is not running well. Derek Elwood's running well. He is currently fifth in points. It looks like he might be the points leader heading into our next race in 2 weeks at Hillside, because like I said, next week the ARCA Menards Series heads to Talladega. E-Series will be off. But before we go to Talladega, the West Series has a race at Las Vegas at 3 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Shut up, stomach. I'm trying to commentate. I don't care if I'm hungry. Just shut up already, stomach. Apologies about my stomach growling, saying it's hungry and wants food. It's like, I already ate, so. Maisie Creighton still the race leaders. We're about to cross the midway point. Surprisingly, we have not had a caution. We've had an incident that brought out the yellow. We have not had a caution, however, for an incident that brings out a yellow. So there you go. Cleopatra Gamal running in the third position, rather, just got around Nathan Orman. Gamal dropped 8 spots rather to 19th in the point standings after a poor race last week at Darlington. So she's not had a good season so far. Let's see where Carolina Bradley is running. She's running in 15th. She comes in this race dead last in points of the 24 drivers who've run every race this season here in the East Series. Emma Kaiser's having a much-needed run, so a lot of drivers, as far as the full-time drivers are concerned, that are struggling in the points table, that have run every race this season, they're having remarkable runs. A lot of drivers who were running well in points, like Kyler Anderson, Dylan Van Dyke. Let's see where those two. Van Dyke's still 17th. Kyler Anderson's still back in 33rd. And Van Dyke came as, Kyler Anderson, rather, came in this race as the points leader. And Dylan Van Dyke, running in 17th, came in this race second in points. And Derek Elwood is all the way up to the top 10. So looks like Derek Elwood, he was only 60 points back of Kyler Anderson. Looks like Derek Elwood would take the points lead as things stand heading into Hillside in 2 weeks' time. Surprisingly, we have not had a caution, which is a little surprising. We had 2 cautions in our qualifying race earlier today. We've not had a caution so far in the East Series, so that says to me the East Series drivers were definitely paying attention to what was going on in the qualifier, and kudos to them. Couple of shout-outs I want to mention. Elena Aurora in her only start of the year, running a 9th. How about Samaya Lorenas? Haven't talked much about the rookie running in the 5th position. She's had a lot of road course racing in her background, so she's having a wonderful run, a respectable run. Right in front of her is her her older teammate. That would be Skylar Davidson in the 35, running in 6th. Tatiana Guerra is in 7th, so Tatiana is having a quiet run, 22nd in the points. That's another gal who needs a good run today. Naguera has not had a good run so far in the 3 races we ran this season. Of the 24 that took the green at Bristol earlier this season. After this race, we'll have your point standings heading into next race in 2 weeks at Hillside. Providing my recording system does not be a darping hyena, which would be why the Loudon race only had 9 minutes, because my recording software decided to be a darping hyena and use the St. Louis Deadbird strategy by screwing up what could have been a 17, 18, possibly a 20-minute video. So fingers crossed my recording system does not become stupid. I really don't want to have to redo this race. I really don't. Also failed to mention Curtis Glover is also making his first E-Series race. Where is he running, Curtis Glover? Oh, he's not in this race. Okay, so he'll be in the race in a couple of weeks, but he'll be out of contention for the East title. Bradley Ream having a much better run. There's Nathan Orman. Seamus right in front of Tatiana Guerra. There's Skylar Davidson, Elena Aurora, Derek Earlwood ninth, and Emma Kaiser complete the top 10. So a well-needed run for a couple of drivers from Frank's team who've not had a good run this season. And so far, this is definitely what the doctor ordered. In particular, Kaiser, Noguera. Let's see what Timo Mauser is running. He's running in 27th. This is not the run he was hoping for. And poor Luna Farmer is all the way back in 38th, but oh well, it's only her 3rd race, so that's a shame. 2 laps to go in this race. All 38 cars that started the race are all on the lead laps, so that's good. Wonder if Bradley Ream can find a way to get around the 5-Hour Energy Toyota. This is, by the way, one of the cars that ran in the ARCA series last year, what was then the AutoZone Amateur Series, the 9, that 5-Hour Energy. In fact, the top 3 are custom paint schemes of the AutoZone of the ARCA. Not sure what the 9 is out of, as we're going to take the white flag. The 47 is out of JTG Daughtery Racing, so there you go. And that was definitely the flag that Maisie Creighton wanted to see, was the white flag, or the caution, or, well, the caution flag if we got to the end of the race. But so far, we have not had a yellow so far today. But still a good run for Bradley Ream after a poor race last week in his first start in the E-Series. Definitely going to improve that 33rd average finish he had last week with a second. So his first top 5 of the year. This is also one of Bradley Reed's better runs of the year. But Maisie Creighton came in this race 7th in points. I believe she's also another driver who came in running well in points. Well, she's going to remain in the top 10 of the points. She led the most laps. She's going to win the race. Also, may I add, from pole to checker flag, Maisie Creighton's going to win the Clean Harbors 100 here today at the Glen. A wonderful win for Maisie, one of our Triple P panelists. First time one of them have gone to victory lane, as the standings are not official yet. Bradley Reed will get second, Cleopatra Gamal third, Nathan Orman fourth, Tatiana Guerra gets fifth, Skylar Davidson sixth, seventh is Derek Elwood, Emma Kaiser eighth, Ponzo Albanese ninth, and Elena Aurora complete the top 10. Looks like Sima Lorenas had a problem towards the end of that race. Standings are official, but she will get 12th, but still a good run for her. Bill Sandwich 11th, Mike Cooper 13th, Carolina Bradley 14th. Well-needed run from her, and Cheyenne Berkshire will complete your top 15. Let's make sure score forward. Yay, it didn't derp. Well, the export button didn't derp. That's good. And on down to the remainder of the finishing results, a lot of drivers who came in running well in points going to take some hits here. Kyler Anderson came in his race the points leader. He came home in 30th. Dylan Van Dyke, who finished 16th, came in his race second in points. Lucian Bianchi, 22nd, was third. And, Beatrice Campos, 37th, came in his race fourth in points. Something must have happened to her during the closing stages of this race. But nevertheless, that's going to do it from the Glen. We're going to show your point standings coming up right after this message and a word from our PCS race stations. And here are your points. Heading into next week's race, as Maisie Creighton will take the points lead heading into next week, which will have Dylan Van Dyke still be second in the standings. Derek Elwood third, Lucian Bianchi fourth, Kyler Anderson fell down to fifth in the standings. Bill Sandwich is now sixth, Donna Ramirez seventh, Skylar Davidson eighth, Cleopatra Gamal ninth, and Cheyenne Berkshire top 10. As Ponzo Albanese, Lane Aurora, Vanco Seaman, this is their only start of the year that they're going to run, because they're also going to run the West Series race at Sonoma. But that is going to do it from here at Watkins Glen International Raceway. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the PCS Race crew today. We showed your full finisher results. I'll show it to you one more time to make sure that my recording software does not become stupid. So there is your full finisher results. You're now seeing on your screen your point standings heading into your next race at Hillside in 2 weeks' time. We'll see you tomorrow for the main series for ARCA. Till then, I've been Ediville signing off. You've been watching another broadcast of PCS Ray TV as we celebrate 14 years as the best in our racing since 2017.